All right, assalamu everybody. I hope my audio is clear. You can see the screen. And then we can start.
Yes, Dr. Tajwal, we can see the screen.
Okay,
You
brilliant.
can start.
All right, so today we have this webinar arranged for all of you. We've got Road to Ireland for all you IMGs out there. Now, this is specifically going to cover for Pakistani graduates, the specific part of like the setting up the account and where to get the documents. But overall, this will cover for all other IMGs as well. And in this session, my plan is to give you all of the information when it comes to IMGs going for Ireland. And the best chance when you can start this process is usually after if you're interested in MR Chem, is after your SPA. Because after the SPA exam, there is sort of a wait for your OSCE and you are in the middle of things. So during that time, you can then focus on however you want to um, go about your registration. If it's the press exam, the English exam, whichever it is, you can do that. Okay. Right. Let's come to the presentation. So the first thing we'll cover is what kind of jobs are we looking at? This is not just for emergency medicine, this is for all kinds of jobs. So we'll cover all specialties. Then what kind of life are you looking at in Ireland? What's the job market like? How much are you paid? What hierarchy level can get a job in Ireland? Then we discuss briefly about the SHO and registrar positions, and we've got the application process. So we will discuss step by step what documents you need, how to set up the account, and then how to look for jobs and where to look for jobs. Okay. We also got you all to register, and about 86 if you registered on the form and you did send us your questions. So I have put in some of those questions in the FAQs in the presentation, but if we miss any of them, in the end, we will cover all of your questions as well and have a live question answer session for any of you who still has questions. Okay, so let's go on to first the misconceptions. So the common misconception that I hear from many seniors and many of my peers or juniors is that IMGs cannot secure jobs in Ireland. And that's not true, really. The Irish healthcare system is very similar to the UK healthcare system. And yes, you do require a certain set of skills, certain degrees, certain portfolios, and a medical license to practice, but you still can get a job. So it's not something that's unheard of. Many IMGs I know have been getting jobs, and it hasn't been much of a problem. So what kind of jobs are you looking at? Majority that you will see start off from junior positions, but they're not really F1 level jobs. Okay. So you've got your senior house officers, which is post house job. You've got registrars in your specific fields, you've got consultant roles, and they all are dependent upon your portfolios, how much experience you have in your field, and what degree you have. For registration, IMGs do have to register with the IMC, which is the Irish Medical Council, and you do have to meet a specific criteria. So they do have a medical exam, which is known as press. There is a possibility that you are exempt from taking the press exam. If you are, then you just have to get your documents sorted and then apply for your registration. If you're not exempt from the press exam, then you do have to then apply for the exam, pass the exam, and then apply for your registration. While, like I said, positions are available, but they are competitive. And they're not going to just give a job to anybody. They will put you through a rigorous process of applying for the job, having a good portfolio, good interview skills, a very solid CV with proper research skills and communication skills and teaching skills. So it's a whole bundle. They're not just looking for a doctor who can pass exams and is good in theory. They're looking for a whole person who's able to communicate effectively, who's able to lead a shift, who's able to teach juniors and take on leadership responsibility and administrative processes at the same time. So you do have to be a holistic doctor to be able to get the jobs. Right. So let's look at the Irish medical system. So you've got an intern. Intern is basically just finished MDBS and house job, as is called in other countries. Then you've got senior house officer. That is after your intern and before your specialty training. Then you've got registrar, who's usually a specialty doctor or specialty. They have already picked their specialty. They're not going to be general. And then you've got specialist registrar, who is a senior halfway through their training, and then a consultant who has finished their training. That's what happened. Okay. Now, let's go on to the registration, right? So eligibility is have a look at your medical degree, which school you graduated from, and check if it is on the IMC list. So if your school, your medical school, is on the World Directory of Medical Schools, you're good. Okay. Then you have to check your internship in Pakistan after 2008. If you have finished a 12-month internship with 3 months in medicine, 3 months in surgery, and then 3 months medicine and surgical allied, you are qualifying for the IMC membership or the license. You don't have to give your press, you're exempted. Higher qualifications like UK, all UK qualifications, the membership exams do exempt you from press as well. So you can use your MRChem or your MRCS or your MRCP to apply for press exemption. However, you do need all three parts, okay? All right. So the required internship rotations are 3 months in general medicine, 3 months in general surgery, and then you have to have allied in specific fields. Sorry. So the allieds are, for example, I did gynae and peds, and I did 3 months whole. There is a system where some colleges say you can do like 2 months in ENT and 1 month in eye or something. So when you take your internship certificates, please do get them to write that that is a surgical allied in front of it so that they can cumulate it to 3 months of surgical allied. Sometimes some medical schools have a different definition of what's a surgical allied and what's a medical allied, and that can lead to problems. Okay. So have them write it down in front of that this was the medical allied they did, and this was the surgical allied they did. And you should have a total of 12 months with 3 months in allied minimum. You can have them distributed, that's okay, but in the certificate you get, you should get them to write like 3 months surgical allied. When it comes to your English verification, you will need the English proficiency exams. You've got two options. You've got IELTS and you've got OET. In IELTS, you have to get an overall of 7 with 6.5 in each module, which is a bit lower than the UK specification for IELTS. It's an overall of 7.5 if you want to apply for GMC, with 7 in each module. For OET, you need a minimum grade of B in each module, and I think that's the same for GMC. These tests must be within 2 years. Okay, so it has to be valid within the 2 years. So if you are giving this exam for your Ireland medical license, time it this way that it can overlap with your GMC registration as well, so that you just give it once. It is expensive. IELTS not much so, but OET is expensive. So keep in mind that because it's just 2 years, make sure that you overlap so you can use the same English language proficiency result for both if you can. Then comes the credential verification. So that is your Epic. They have made some changes in the Epic account, but the gist remains the same. You make the account, you upload documents, your medical school will then send your degree and your transcripts and everything else to them. You don't do anything, they send it, and then your Epic is verified. You do need a passport for this one and a face-to-face interview before you can get Epic verified. Keep that in mind. And please remember, it's not just your MBBS degree. If you're applying through a MRCP, MRChem pathway for Ireland, then you do need to get your MRChem degree verified as well. Okay, so if there's an additional degree you're using, then you do need to get that EPIC verified as well. Okay, certificate of good standing. So you will need this certificate for your IMC. And for this one, you do have to ask PMDC for your good standing certificate if you are in Pakistan. This is also going to be sent by PMDC or PMC directly to IMC. They don't accept student or candidate sending it. Okay. And it has to be recent. So it has to be within the 3 to 6 months that you've asked for it. It cannot be sent later on. If they ask for it, no, so that will only delay your process. Only apply for good standing when they ask for it, not necessarily you should send it because otherwise it is going to delay your application. If your documents are not complete and if you don't send it initially, they put you on a transition list. That list is basically when they get time, they will email you asking for it, and that just delays your process by months. So if you send the documents in time, all of them together in a proper manner, they put you on the fast track route. That way you can get your registration in about 6 months. However, if you do this where you are just waiting for them to ask you something and then you fill it up, then you are put on the transition pathway. And the transition pathway, they get to them those emails very later on. So they send an email, they wait 2 weeks. They don't just check that email box every day. So they wait 2 weeks, they check the deadlines, they have those marked, and then you send it back. It takes time. So it's just like a long process and you delay it. So I wouldn't advise doing that seriously. Now let's come to the application part. You create your online account, you go to the IMC website, you register or you log in if you already have an account. You submit your application online. That is the part where you do not pay. Okay, that's just the application. But please remember, once you filled the application, you have to give the documents. You have about, I think, 31 or 2 months maybe to get all the documents verified and stuff. So I would suggest get the documents ready first, then fill the application or submit the application at least. Do not submit the application if you don't have everything else ready. Otherwise, your application process is going to be delayed. And the delay is going to be like good 8, 9 months. You're just stuck there. Why? Because they've put you on the transition pathway where you are going to wait. They will get to those emails and your application when they can. Okay. Please ensure your documents are notarized or officially tested and translated into English if needed. So they will only accept English. But in Pakistan, we usually have English, so we don't have to worry. Upload documents and pay fees. Then after you've submitted your application, they will then message you saying, please upload your documents and you pay the fees. So then you upload all of your documents that are required, your passport, the copy of your passport on the first page, your verified, EPIC verified MBBS degree, internship certificate, and if you have any additional degrees that you're applying with for the IMC, upload that, your OET or IELTS results, your certificate of good standing, all of those you apply, you upload, and then you are going to be directed to the pay fees box, and then you pay, and then you wait. Okay. Now your application status will progress through stages. Okay. It will say awaiting assessment, under assessment, and then outcome. Don't just keep checking it every day, but just check it in about 2 months. Okay. After you've submitted it, 2 months later, just check. to see if are they still awaiting assessment, are they under assessment, and if they've given an outcome. Under assessment means that they have received all your documents and are now deciding if they want to give you the license or not. Awaiting assessment means they haven't received all the documents that they're waiting for. Okay. Once approved, you get a gen form, which you have to complete and return along with your retention fee. And then you get your registration certificate. Okay. So once they've verified everything, they will let you know and you can then submit it. At what stage they ask for OET? They ask at the upload documents level. So once you submit the application online, they're going to ask for all your documents. They give you a time limit as well. So you have like 30 days after submitting your online application to now give them all your documents. Otherwise, they can actually close your application and you have to start all over again. All right, so this is the application fee that I checked the last time, and I'm hoping it hasn't changed. So about 410 to 510 euros application fee, one-time payment when you submit, and then you have your retention fee, which is annual, and that is 560 euros. Okay. The rough timeline, expect roughly 10 to 15 months from start to finish, excluding time taken for language test and epic verification. So yeah, it can roughly take about 10 to 15 months. But I have had colleagues that did get their IMC license within 6 months. It just depends on when you apply for registration. So if you apply in the months when the Irish medical graduates are also graduating and they're applying, then they have a lot of burden and they wait, they put your applications on hold. But if you apply in an off season, you kind of get away with 6 months as well if you have provided everything else. Okay. No, so they're not going to ask for a new one. At the time of submission, the OET has to be valid. That's all they need. So off season, I'll have to double check, but off season is usually their winter months, excluding Christmas and New Year's, please. But yeah, summer is going to be busy. Summers are busy. And then winter months are good, but it's not a hard and fast rule that you're going to get it quicker in the winter months. It's not hard and fast. It's just that I have had a few colleagues who applied in the winter months and they were able to get it a lot quicker than the rest of the candidates who applied in the summer. All right, so if you are not exempt and you have to go through the press pathway, this is what it looks like. It's the same as PLAB. These are the field requirements. I'm not going to go into a lot of details about press because that is exempted for Pakistani candidates and it's good enough for me. These are expensive, but because of the exemption criteria, many of you can be exempted, honestly. A lot of countries are exempt, so I'd say you're good. Okay. If you still have questions about press, I can answer them in the end. All right, now let's go through the step-by-step guide for IMC. Now, how are we going to go about it? So these are the countries. So any questions? And I hope I'm not going too fast. Any questions? Any queries?
No, Dr. Tajveer, thank you.
Okay, brilliant. So this is the part where things get a bit technical. Sorry. So these are the countries who don't need to give the press exam. Australia, South Africa, Sudan, UK, New Zealand, Pakistan, Malaysia, and Malta. And for Pakistani graduates, please remember internship, which has commenced from 1st January 2009 onwards, and rotations that meet the criteria, like I said. So 3 months medicine and 3 months surgery, and then three months of medical and surgical allied, respectively. Now, if you're not exempt, you will have to go through this exam, give the exam, and then apply for your license. What are you going to need? So now that you're exempt, you make your account, and these are the documents you need to get ready. You check your degree from your university. You have to go to your university or give them a call and ask them for it. You usually have a way of getting the transcripts through the EPIC verification. It can vary from university to university. I'm going to tell you about the UHS one because that's most universities in Pakistan. But yeah, if you haven't graduated from a university under UHS or your college under UHS, then just inquire about how they are going to give you your transcript. And this is a transcript, not just your degree, by the way. The degree they give you in your convocation, that's not the one that they just verify. That's a whole transcript they send to EPIC with like hours, years, what subjects, blah, blah, blah. It's a long thing. Language certification. So like I said, IELTS, OET, whichever one. They can actually also take USMLE if all of part 1 and part 2 have been completed. They also accept that. So keep that in mind. This will not apply to us. So Cambridge certification does not apply to Pakistan. Do not try this one. This only applies to European countries or like England and countries like that who accept this as a language certification. Then you've got your house job. So the house job certificate, you can go for Pakistan, just visit the website, register for the online portal, and then you can just click on your accreditation for experience. Then you can just specify which country, and you'll see Ireland there as the country for which you need the certificate, and then click on it and submit it. They have made this process a lot easier. Then you've got your good standing certificate. Once you've done all of this and your documents have been sent to the IMC, the certificate is only valid for 3 months. Okay, so keep in mind that for Pakistan, you have to send it directly. It must be sent directly by PMDC to IMC via either post or email. You have to go to the website, click on Good Standing Certificate, enter Ireland as the regulator, and then provide the IMC's postal address and email. Okay, and then they will send it. For document verification, you have to go through the EPIC. EPIC is a different entity. So it's a different website, a different portfolio that you need to make an account for. For EPIC, in order to make an account, first you register, you upload you need your passport to get the account made. And the account is verified once they have that chat with you, like an online chat to confirm your identity with your passport, they match it. Once your account is made, then you do the document verification. Okay. The whole process takes about 2 months back in my time. So the verification process took about 2 weeks, and then the document verification and everything else sorted by 2 months. It can vary now depending upon your medical school and how quickly they can send those transcripts. But it is entirely dependent on your medical school, how quickly they can do that. But yeah, keep in mind that it's going to take a bit of a while. All right. Then is your medical degree. So like I said, every university has its own process. But if you have graduated from a university under University of Health Sciences, then just visit their website, locate the degree issuance portal under the quick links. You can see that. Complete the form and get it signed by your college. You have to download the form, complete it, get it signed, and then you register on the portal, fill out the application, submit the required documents, pay the fee, and you can collect your degree. Okay. If you've already done that, good for you. If you haven't, then this is the process that you have to go. Okay. Then language certification, like I said, for IELTS, it's really easy. In Pakistan, just book your IELTS exam. You just need 2 weeks of preparation, really. Um, there are tons of free resources available. You don't need to get a course. You don't need to pay hefty amounts to get a course. Just pay for the exam. I think right now it's in the 60,000s, roughly. And you can just get your results in about, I think, a week and a half or 2 weeks, and then you can just upload your certificate. For OET, it is a bit expensive. In my time, it wasn't happening in Pakistan yet, but now they do have this option, so good for you. And again, not a very difficult exam. It is more medical related, so easier for you guys. And again, resources all free are available, easily available. You don't need to pay for any courses. You don't need it, honestly. You just need a bit of guidance and proper resources, and that's all you need for these two exams. And then obviously USMLA, they do accept if you've done all the parts. So part one, part two, CKMCS. Okay. So for the house job certificate, I have gone over this again, but just so you know, for PMDC, go to their website. Oh, no, I didn't. We did the degree, sorry. So for your house job certificate, you select your rotations in your house job that are acceptable. Okay. If you haven't already done your house job, make sure that you select those rotations. Then you visit PMDC website, register on the portal, go to accreditation of experience on your dashboard, fill all your information, your address, where you want to receive the certificate, and in which country you need that certificate for. Just write the Republic of Ireland. Attach your required documents like the house job certificate you have. Pay the fee online, wait to receive your experience certificate. Usually it takes about 2 to 4 weeks. You get it within that time. Once you have your certificate, you have to get it verified by the EPIC portal. Okay. So then you get your EPIC verification done. Oh, wow. Is that how long it's taking? There must be something wrong. You have to remind them. They sometimes forget. So either check the portal if they have, given you a reason, or just go to the Islamabad office and check why they're not giving it to you. Because generally, they do give it in like 2 to 4 weeks. That it shouldn't generally take that long. But yeah, so this is why I'm saying once you submit the Ireland medical license application and you see these kind of delays, it will automatically delay your application. So do not submit that form until you have everything ready. Okay? Once you have everything ready, then do that submission part because otherwise you're going to be stressed and there's absolutely no way for you to like expedite the process. And I know there are many reasons why we get delays in Pakistan as well, the process of these degree verification and stuff. So yeah, just get all of your things sorted before you go on and try to, get the application started. Okay. Oh, sorry. Good standing certificate. So this is a certificate that usually is required by almost every medical licensing authority, GMC and Ireland, both of them require it. You will need this document every time you need to apply, okay? Because it has a validity of like 3 months or 6 months roughly. Um, Make sure that it's within the 3 months that you send the documents to them. And they will accept this either via Epic and by post. So keep that in mind. Important note is that yes, the certificate must be sent directly by your medical council to IMC via post or email. Okay, they have to do it. IMC will not accept certificates sent by applicants themselves. Step-by-step guideline is GMC does. Okay, so with GMC, you can send it yourself. With IMC, however, on their website, they have stated this, so please keep in mind. Now, again, for good standing, just go on the PMDC website, log into the online portal, click good standing, you can see there, and fill in all your details. Enter Republic of Ireland in the regulator for which the certificate is required for. In the postal address, give them the address of the Irish Medical Council on their website. They have the full address with the postcode. Please mention it complete. And then you enter the email of the foreign regulator, which is usually given here as well. And you can check on their website as well if they change it. But as per my last research, it was coe@mcirl.ie. Select no for courier to foreign regulator directly from PMDC. Because if you do that, if you select yes, they're going to have to courier it, which is going to delay things. So it has to be sent by email. That's a lot quicker. So just say no to courier and they will send it by email. Upload your proof or letter for demand of good standing certificate from the regulator. So this is going to be your Irish Medical Council email or the list of documents they need. You have to upload that letter, the why am I requiring this? And then your good standing certificate will be sent to IMC and your address as well. Okay. All right. Acceptable internship rotations. Now, we have gone over this. Please remember you write proper terminologies in your letter. This is important because once you have done your house job and you have that house job letter, you cannot just amend it every single time and it becomes a hassle. And then Irish Medical Council just keeps sending you emails saying this is not right. This is a problem. They have flagged 1 month of this rotation. So don't get into that. Make it easier for yourself. If you are going through the process of house job, by the end of your house job, make sure that you are there when they type the house job letter so that you can avoid these kind of errors causing problems. Okay. So avoid certificates that mention allied specialties. All right. You have to have them mention the proper specialty, not just write surgical allied. They have to write the subject that you were actually um, doing a house job in. Okay. So it has to be proper, like rhinolaryngology instead of ENT or ophthalmology instead of eye. Okay. And no gaps should exist in your internship period. Please, some people I know do house job in 2 different institutions. Okay. So they do like 6 months in one institution, like medicine and medicine allied in one, and then surgery and surgical allied in the other. So they're going to get 2 letters. Make sure that the end date of your last working day in one hospital, and then the next working day should be in the other hospital. That's how the letter starts. If there is a delay, if there are gap periods that some people do take, like a month off in their house job for like maternity leave or a wedding, and then they do the house job later, request your hospital to, even if you did do that, request your hospital if they can make the letter in like showing no gaps. Like you did 12 months altogether and you did not take any gaps, even if you did fill in later on. You did the allied later, you froze your house job halfway because of family reasons, and you then continue later. Please make sure that the dates coincide. If there are gaps, that will also delay your application or maybe get rejected because they will ask you what happened. They want to know what happened. Why is there a gap? Why are the dates not coinciding? Okay. Now, documents to send after online application. So this is going to be your notarized copy of your passport, which is your passport is kind of notarized. I think you don't need to notarize it specifically. I didn't do it. I don't remember if anybody has to do it, honestly. IELTS and OET results, cover letter, checklist received from IMC after application. So there is a checklist they send you, and you have to tick off, like, I've sent this, I've sent this, I've sent this. So if they've asked for all of the things, send that. These documents should be sent to the Irish Medical Council's current address, which can be found on their official website under contact details. Okay. Epic verification, the documents that you verified through Epic, Epic will send these verifications directly to IMC. So you have to log in into your Epic account, and then there is an option there where you can just send this to IMC electronically. You don't have to send physical copies. Okay. After you've sent your documents, you will receive an acknowledgement email from IMC. And in their email, they usually say, oh, the process time is going to take about a few weeks. They don't mention months, they say few weeks, which is a very long time, by the way, because even though they say few weeks, it takes months. Tracking your application. Now, after submitting your application and paying the fee, your application status will change from draft to submitted in your portal, if you have a look, okay? And if you've received an email confirming submission, but your status is still showing draft, please give it some time. The system is a bit slow and it takes a few days before it shows submitted on it. If after 3-4 days you don't see submitted, please email them to make sure that the status is updated, okay? If you need to check on your application status, you can either email registration@mcirl.ie, or you can call them directly during work hours, but it can be a wait. They will not pick up the call on the weekend or your public holidays, okay? In my opinion, giving them a phone call is a lot more quicker than email. So if you are concerned about your application, just give them a call and see what they have to say. All right. Please remember, you have to include your application reference number, or have it open in front of you. So if they ask for it, you can just tell straight away that this is my application reference number. Can you just please check the status of my application? It hasn't been updated in a few months now. And if there anything else that I need to do document-wise, or any explanation that I have to give, so that we can expedite the process, and they will be happy to do so. They are experiencing longer processing time these days. So yeah, they're gonna say, please be patient, we are experiencing longer. So this line here is what they usually say on the phone or the email as well. We are experiencing longer processing times than usual. Patience is advised during the application process. So that is what it is, unfortunately. Okay. Now, registration fee and then your final steps. So after your application has been reviewed, approved, then they will send you your Gen form. You fill it out. It's another form that they just need to know about you as a practicing doctor. And then they send you the registration fee. And you can find the current fee structure. They do change it every year, so just have a look at what it is currently. You can make the payment online through the portal. Once it is confirmed, your registration is going to be processed. Now that part is a lot quicker. So the application process takes months, but the registration fees, so all of these kind of things, they just take about 2 weeks. That is a lot quicker. Registration certificate. Now then, once everything is sorted, they will give you a registration number. They will email you your certificate of registration, and you can also see that on your portal. And you will have access to the online services for registered doctor, where this will show you the registration, the annual retention, and when is your annual fee due. All of those things you can see on your portal. And your name will also appear in the public register for medical practitioners in Ireland. So if you open that and put in your registration number, that will show that you have a valid license to practice in Ireland. Okay, please remember, you have to pay annually for your license to be maintained in Ireland. All right. So in summary, you check your medical school. If it's accepted, you get your language certificate, you get your documents verified by Epic, get the good standing, apply on the portal, upload documents, pay the fee, get assessed, get your Gen form, fill it out, send it back, get pay the retention fee, and then get registered. If you have to sit for press, then you can sit for press. Okay. All right. before we go on to finding jobs after registration and the process thereafter, um, let's take a bit 5 minutes and go through some of the questions that we've got. Dr. Rajab, do you have a list of questions?
Uh, Wait just a second, I'll send you.
You don't have to send them. You can just go through the questions one by one. Just read them out loud and we'll see. In the meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, um, please ask
So, Dr.
away.
Tajveer, the way I understand it,
Mhm.
first of all, you have to get your house job certificate aligned. Then you have to get your good standing certificate, and then you apply for EPIC verification, right?
No, no, no. So for the EPIC verification, you need your medical degree and house job. Good standing should be the last thing you do. Good standing should not be the first thing you do because it has the shortest validity. It's just 3 months. So don't
Okay.
do good standing first, good standing last. You do the EPIC portal first. So register on the EPIC, open the account. It's going to take 2 weeks. Then
But
medical
on EPIC,
degree and
you
house
have
job.
to apply, you have to provide IELTS degree, IELTS or OET as well, na, right? You
Four,
have to do
sorry?
that before IELTS or OET certificate you have to provide on EPIC, right?
No, no, no. For Epic, you just need your passport, a valid passport, please. If your passport is expiring, you need to sort that out as well, please. Because if it's an expired passport, they're not going to open the account. So it has to be a valid passport. And once the account is open, you need medical degree and house job verification on Epic. After Epic is done, I would suggest then do your IELTS because that way you save a bit of time and you get a lot more, a little bit, a few months more for your IELTS validity because it is 2 years and
Okay.
you don't want it to expire for GMC as well. That is my take on it. If you are happy to do both exams, I mean, the English language exam again for GMC, go ahead. But if you are kind of targeting that sweet spot where you're like, I want to give it once and I want to get 2 registrations sorted, if that is your goal, then I would suggest that um, get Epic sorted and then give your IELTS and OET. Once you get the results, with that is within 2 weeks, then submit online application, put everything on it. And while you're doing your IELTS, you can then apply for good standing as well, because that's the good time, I would say, roughly.
Okay. Thank you.
After how much time you have to renew, sorry, missed that, annually. So it's 1 year for every medical license, PMDC, GMC, IMC, all of them the same.
And what if you don't pay annually? Can you pay in, like, if I pay after 5 years, would it be fine? Or you
No.
have to pay annually?
So they will remove you from the register if you don't pay annually.
And if they do, then we have to do the whole process again.
Yeah, no, actually, if they remove you from the register, I don't know if you can actually get the license back even. So yeah, if they kind of be very careful when it comes to this. So GMC as well. So UK, even if you're not working in the UK, you still maintain your license to practice there and your registration. So if, for example, if I'm not working in the UK, okay, I will give up my license to practice, but I still have my GMC registration. I'm not getting rid of it. The fee goes down, but you still have to pay a certain amount every year to maintain my registration. Otherwise, if I don't pay it and if I go over a month or two, they do give you warnings. They send you a warning letter and then they kind of strip you off the register. For they will cancel your registration and you go, I'm assuming then you have to go through the process of like step 1, 2 again, or whatever degree you have to apply again for the registration and pay all over again.
And for Epic verification, if you have any additional qualifications, like you have an master's in philosophy in physiology or something, you should apply for incorporate that in what do you recommend? Should anyone put that in the Epic verification as well?
You will have to if you are using that degree to apply for IMC, press exemption. If you are using that degree and saying, look, I have this degree, I do not have to give the press exam, then yes. If not, then no. But I don't think these kind of MSCs apply for exemption to press, by the way. You need a medical degree, not teaching ones. Teaching ones will not put you on the register.
Okay.
If anyone foreign graduate, like I graduated in Cuba, did my high job there in medicine, surgery, peds, gynae, then cleared PMDC criteria will be same. I'm not sure. You'll have to check Cuba because I know that Cuba is on the exemption list for press. But you will have to go and check specifically that how the house job criteria, what is it like? For PMDC or for Pakistani graduates, it's this 3 months and 3 months. So I'm not sure how Cuba does it, but you will have to double check. They have a very detailed description of what they want in house jobs, so don't worry. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
So before we go on to the job application part, I think Dr. Rajab has a few things to tell you all about Pakistan MRChem Academy. And then, and this is because I would require some break to have a glass of water, and then I'll come back and we'll go over the job application, the interview, the work permit, and whatnot. Okay? Dr. Rajab, do you need screen share? Should I stop sharing and then make you host? What is the current
No,
OET
Doctor.
exam fee?
I will talk to them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So first of all, thank you everyone for joining this session. It is very informative. So I would like to highlight a few things about the Pakistan American Academy. So we have established this academy under the kind supervision of Dr. Tajwar, and we are going to teach all three components from primary, intermediate to OSCE as well. And we prefer quality over quantity, and we don't overburden. Okay, we don't overburden the students in physically. Like we have sessions which are short and on certain intervals. Like you have to take 3 classes per week for primary, intermediate, as well as for OSCE, as well as we would be taking care of the cost as well. So we are offering these courses on minimum fee. And if you have any query or if you have any